Well, good morning and welcome back to the new academic year. Like many other events over the last 6 months, we've had to change how we kick off the new academic year. The limitations for gathering size prohibit us from having our traditional opening breakfast together. Nonetheless, we have some exciting and important information to share with you, and so this year's kickoff is a virtual opening gathering. Thank you all for joining in today. I'm greeting you this morning from the new fitness center in Amsler. There are many good reasons we planned for a new workout space like this, but we could not have imagined when planning began that it would be opening in a pandemic. But to have this space open now, at a time when students, and perhaps us, need a healthy outlet to relieve stress, is fortuitous. I am grateful to our friends at MCLA Dining and the Massachusetts State College Building Authority for their support and resources to transform this space into a fitness center and a much improved athletic training space. This renovation also allows us to bring all our athletic coaches under one roof, literally. I hope you will have an opportunity to visit the fitness center this semester. To start today's opening greeting, let me introduce the new chair of the MCLA Board of Trustees, Mr. Mohan Boodram. The board elected Mr. Boodram at its annual meeting in June when Denise Marshall completed her term as chair. Mohan has served on MCLA's Board of Trustees since 2012 and has chaired the board's Enrollment Management Committee since 2013. He also co-chaired the college's 2016 Presidential Search Committee with trustee Susan Gold. Mohan and I have discussed the historic nature of his appointment as chair and how important it is for our community to see themselves in our leadership. With Mohan's permission, I offer this brief introduction. Born of Trinidadian and Grenadian parents, Mohan grew up on Long Island in New York. He will be the first openly gay person of color to chair MCLA's Board of Trustees. Please enjoy Mohan's greeting.
Good morning, and welcome to the Fall 2020 opening greeting. I'd like to begin by thanking Mayor Thomas Bernard and our union and student government representatives participating today. A warm welcome to the staff and faculty here with us this morning. I am especially pleased to be speaking with you this morning in my capacity as the newly elected chair of the MCLA Board of Trustees. This fall semester is going to be unlike anything we've experienced before. I know that faculty and staff alike have put in tremendous time and work into planning our return to campus. I commend your efforts to ensure that our students are as safe as possible and are able to continue to pursue a quality liberal arts education. I have every confidence in the plans set forth, and I'm especially confident in your ability to provide our students with the best possible experience in the current environment. The MCLA board will have a presence on campus as well. I intend to hold all scheduled board meetings here so that the board can demonstrate that we are willing to do ourselves what we are asking of our faculty, staff, and students. It can be difficult to express excitement at a time when anxieties may be heightened, but I hope that you're as excited as I am about the upcoming semester and the promise it holds for our students. I'd like to conclude by thanking you for all that you do each and every day and extending to you the board's best wishes for a successful academic year.
Thank you, Mohan, and I'm very much looking forward to working with you this year. Next, the leader of our fine city, Mayor Tom Bernard, has a greeting to share with you as well. Mayor Bernard.
Hello, students, staff, and faculty of MCLA. Welcome back to North Adams. And for those of you joining us for the first time, welcome to North Adams. Now, normally we'd be gathering together on campus, greeting old friends and new, and talking about everything that's changed since the last time we were together. But so much has changed in these past few months and will continue to change that we're doing things a little bit differently. We're following new safety protocols and precautions, new guidelines, remembering always to carry and wear our masks. But despite everything that has changed, the value, the purpose, the commitment of an MCLA education, and the role of North Adams as a partner in that education continues. I'm so glad that people are back. I'm glad that those of you who are participating in your education remotely this summer will have a connection to the city. And as you begin the semester, I have just 2 requests for you. The first is, please, if you haven't already, complete your census. Time's winding down, but there is still time. You can do it online, by phone, or by mail. And the second one is just as pressing and even more critical. Vote. Whether you do it in person, whether you do it by mail, however you do it, make a plan, understand the issues, make your voice heard. It's all of our responsibility. It's our civic duty, and it's something that's at the core of a public liberal arts education. So I'm glad we're back. I'm glad we're celebrating a new semester, and I look forward to the time when we can all gather together in purpose and in person. So thank you all, and have a great semester. Take care.
Thank you, Tom. I am grateful for the leadership of our bargaining units and their commitment to providing opportunities for our students to have an outstanding liberal arts education. MSCA Chapter President James Moriarty, AFSCME Representative Liz Manns, and APA Rep Seth Bean have each a greeting to offer. Welcome, colleagues.
Good morning, President Birge, administrators, staff, and faculty here at the Massachusetts College of Liberal Arts. Well, as it was a year ago, everyone, I said my remarks would be quick and to the point. It's not going to be any different this year. Plus the fact that I've only been given 2 minutes by the powers that be to make sure this happens, I assure you that won't be a problem. Well, here we are in the middle of a pandemic. Some, maybe one, considers it a hoax. You and I don't feel that way. We know it's not. Everyone here knows what's on the table, knows what the situation is. The situation is a very difficult one. I've been here now 40 years, and this will probably be my most challenging, if not for everyone on this campus. That's the reality. So how do we get through it? We get through it with teamwork, respect, and patience. Let me thank all the people who have made this semester a reality this summer. And those who sat on the reopening committee, thank you all. Classroom preparation, facilities, and everyone who has stepped up to make this semester a reality. I thank you, and the college thanks you. As far as where we go from here, as I promised you last year, and I said this at the opening breakfast a year ago, relationship building and trust was a priority. I promised to do that. This is where it pays off. This is where it pays off to get things done, the trust and relationship building to get through this semester and possibly this entire year. One thing I will assure you as your Faculty Association president, certainly from the faculty who are here watching today, I will be the first one on the field, the last one off, and no one gets left behind. That I assure you, we will all get through this together. Thank you and have a wonderful semester.
Hello, my name is Elizabeth Manns, and it is my honor to bring you greetings from the members of AFSCME Local 1067. We are the support staff here at the college, and you can find us in all the branches of facilities, public safety, the power plant, the library, the labs, the mailroom, health services, counseling, and the administrative and academic offices of MCLA. We are with you 24/7, and we are here to help everyone. So whether you are new or a returning student or staff member, don't hesitate to call on us for help. Each and every member of AFSCME will do our best to assist you in resolving the problem, and if we can, to at least get you to someone who can. This semester is going to be in many ways different and yet the same. The mission of MCLA remains the same, though some of the means for accomplishing it have been changed or augmented. COVID-19 has brought much worry, concern, and yes, fear into our lives. The politics of the day is also very dark and divisive. It sometimes threatens to overwhelm us, even though life goes on and there is still much to enjoy and be thankful. Find the thing in your life that you are thankful for. It will see you through. In difficult times, I often recite the words from the Serenity Prayer by theologian Reinhold Niebuhr. There have been many versions over the years, but this shortened one is my favorite, and it brings me much comfort. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I want to thank President Birge for the opportunity to address you this semester, and I wish all of us a safe, productive semester that is blessed with much wisdom and serenity. Lastly, remember to mask up so that we are doing our part to keep the campus safe and the COVID-19 numbers down. Thank you.
Greetings from the Association of Professional Administrators. As we prepare to start for the fall 2020 semester here at MCLA, our members are ready for any challenges that come our way. I am incredibly proud of the efforts made by our members across campus last spring and this summer as we dealt with COVID-19 and executive orders pertaining to it. I appreciate the efforts of the administration to keep our community whole throughout these difficult times and the flexibility of our members to take on new tasks. I am happy to see the administration has kept us at the table and on committees as we work through the difficult decisions we all face with our new normal. I am confident that MCLA will emerge from this pandemic better prepared for the future, all made possible from communication and mutual understanding on what it takes to succeed as an institution of higher education in any climate. The APA is ready to take on the challenges of this very different fall semester, and we wish our students success and know they will achieve great things.
Thank you all for your support of our students and the great things that you and your members do for MCLA every day. On March 24th at noon, I looked out of my office window on a campus that was empty of people. 24 hours earlier, Governor Baker had ordered all state agencies to transition their workforces, except for essential staff, to remote work. It was an eerie experience not to see most of you and not knowing when we would be together again. However, not everyone was able to work remotely, as the governor required essential staff to remain at their posts. None of us really knows what goes on behind the scenes to keep a college campus running, but our colleagues and facilities do. They did not have the opportunity to work remotely because heat and energy needed to continue to flow onto campus buildings. The buildings needed to be kept up, cleaned, and sanitized. Grounds needed to be cleared of snow and sand, lawns to be mowed, and the HVAC systems needed to be monitored and repaired. Other colleagues of ours remained on campus. MCLA campus police continued to secure and protect campus property and buildings. Our colleagues in human resources processed payrolls for employees and prepared for new employees who are starting with us today. Faculty members came to campus to video record class lessons, and executive staff members remained on campus to plan for a new academic year in a pandemic environment. I thank all of you who worked diligently to help maintain operations and our mission and to prepare for a new year. In particular, I want to recognize Gina Puck for her extraordinary efforts to help plan for a new academic year. Early on in the pandemic, I asked Gina to be the COVID point person for MCLA. Her work with the Department of Higher Education, the Massachusetts Department of Public Health, the Council of Presidents, and her peers at other state universities has been exceptional. Because of this work, as well as the other work that she does at MCLA, I have promoted Gina to Vice President of Strategic Initiatives. She will retain her responsibilities overseeing admissions, student financial services, public relations and communications, and community relations, and will now oversee institutional research. It is very clear that the next few years will present challenges for higher education institutions, and having a point person who can work directly with me on new initiatives to better position MCLA for external changes is necessary. I hope you will congratulate Gina when you next see her. Recently, Professor Jim Moriarty and I sent a joint letter to faculty about the upcoming semester to address some questions that they had raised. In that letter, Jim and I acknowledged that we all feel some anxiety about the upcoming year. I know that the plan we have put in place presents as safe an environment as possible for a return to campus. Nonetheless, it is likely we will have cases of COVID on campus, but the plan allows for early detection and a strategy to isolate and quarantine students as appropriate per Massachusetts Department of Public Health guidelines. If you have not reviewed the materials we have been sending out, I encourage you to read it at the COVID-19 website that is on the college's website. I think it's important for all of us to remember to be supportive of one another. While there are people for whom this pandemic has been especially difficult, it has been hard on all of us. We all, students, faculty, and staff, will need help as we cope with the anxieties of new practices this fall, and we ask that you continue to be gentle with each other and with yourself. This fall will be especially difficult for students as we manage an academic environment in a pandemic. Additionally, this fall, we will likely be exposed to more deceit, misinformation, lies, and racism as the presidential election intensifies. The demagoguery we see in Washington is particularly dangerous for our colleagues and students who are members of marginalized communities, including people of color, members of the LGBTQIA+ community, poor people, and others. I ask that you recognize that for some of our community members, this election cycle is going to be very difficult, and to offer an additional measure of care for them. Over the summer, MCLA has implemented or planned a number of initiatives or activities to help raise our community's awareness of our commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion. In particular, we all need to do more work, individually and collectively, to create an environment that is actively, characteristically, visibly anti-racist. Not any one of us is capable of ending campus racism on his, her, or their own. It takes a collective effort to end racism. You need to know that our students and our alumni have shared stories of their experiences of racism at MCLA. I'm imploring us all to examine ourselves and ask how we may have contributed to the experience our students have had with racism, and to make changes so that every MCLA student, staff member, and faculty member feels welcome and valued here. The summer has been busy with developing and planning a number of initiatives to combat racism to help our students and colleagues of color feel more welcome here. These activities include reviewing financial aid awards to assure equity in supporting students, prioritizing fundraising with the MCLA Foundation Board for scholarships particularly related to supporting students of color, reviewing the policies and practices of the campus police department to assure equitable and safe treatment of people on campus. This analysis will proceed in all areas of the college starting this fall. We've established an anti-bias training program for faculty and staff that will roll out this fall. We've prioritized the review of candidates of color for membership on the alumni boards of directors, the foundation board of directors, the college board of trustees, and the executive staff, for which there will be 2 openings this year. Participating in Leading for Change, a consortium of Northeast colleges and universities that will help us deepen our institutional infrastructure for racial equity. And establishing the Anti-Racist Learning Community, a collaborative effort between the Office of the Chief Diversity Officer and the Center for Teaching and Learning. This year, a group of faculty volunteers will meet twice a month to review current literature on anti-racist pedagogies and to develop practical applications for their own teaching practices. More information will be shared in an email invitation that will be sent to all faculty shortly. We've been promoting the art and stories of historically marginalized artists at MCLA's Gallery 51 and creating dialogue about the intersections that bring us together, as our colleague Erica Wall says. Additionally, I'm happy, very happy in fact, to share with you that the U.S. Department of Education has awarded MCLA a TRIO program grant for student support services. The college will receive up to $1.3 million over 5 years to enhance student support for under-resourced students. The TRIO programming will work toward increasing the retention, good academic standing, and graduation rates of eligible students and foster an institutional climate that is supportive of low-income, first-generation, and students with disabilities. Additionally, MCLA will provide flexible and affordable paths to obtaining knowledge and skills, as well as promote the development of skills that prepare students to be informed, thoughtful, and productive members of our communities. This program will serve up to 160 students a year. I'm especially thankful to Dr. Christopher McDonald Dennis, our Chief Diversity Officer, for his work and guidance in developing this proposal. I'm also pleased to share with you that our colleagues in institutional advancement have had another good year with their fundraising efforts. The team has exceeded their performance goal each of the last 2 years, and in fact, by June 30th, 2020, Vice President Bob Ziomek and his team have raised just over $3 million, the largest non-campaign year of fundraising in our history. Alumni donations have increased significantly over 2 years, while state and federal grant receipts are also strengthening. As a result of their efforts, the Council for the Advancement of Supportive Education, CASE, the Professional Association for Advancement Professionals, has selected MCLA to receive their 2020 CASE Educational Fundraising Award. The award is for overall performance in the category for public liberal arts institutions. With the arrival of the new academic year comes the excitement of welcoming new colleagues to MCLA and welcoming back colleagues who were on sabbatical last semester. These new and returning colleagues bring to us new ways of seeing our work that have eluded us or that we have hesitated to acknowledge. In this way, our colleagues elicit from us our very best work. These colleagues also bring us best practices from other institutions and their sabbatical work. We can see firsthand how others in our fields implement new methods and/or materials that bring out the students' best work. Our colleagues also bring to us a diversity of thought that renews our own understanding of the importance of multiple voices, particularly those voices that have been quieted or silenced. And of course, new colleagues arrive at MCLA with skills, ideas, and gifts that add to their collective strength as an academic community. Please take the time to seek out our new colleagues. I know you will be pleased that you did. The pandemic has disrupted many of our plans over the last 6 months and will continue to influence how we operate for the foreseeable future. One of the changes we have been required to make is to move our sponsored lecture series to a virtual environment. However, MCLA nonetheless has attracted notable individuals to provide lectures this fall. On September 23rd at 6 p.m., Darnell Moore will be the inaugural Lavender Fund lecturer, moderated by Gallery 51's Erica Wall. Launched in 2019, the Lavender Fund raises annual support to bring LGBTQIA+ community speakers to campus, among other supports for the LGBTQIA+ community. Mr. Moore is the Director of Inclusion Strategy for Content and Marketing at Netflix. His advocacy centers on marginal identity, youth development, and other social justice issues in the United States and abroad. In 2018, he released his first book, No Ashes in the Fire, and he was named one of the Route 100's most influential African Americans. Additionally, on October 1st, former U.S. Senator from Arizona Jeff Flake will provide the annual Michael S. and Kitty Dukakis Public Policy Lecture. The senator's address will focus on the 2020 election and the state of U.S. politics today. And finally, the Elizabeth and Lawrence Vadnais Environmental Issues Lecture will be offered on November 19th by Susan Natali of the Woods Hole Research Center in Falmouth. More information on these lectures is forthcoming. Earlier, I referenced 2 executive staff searches this year. Dr. Adrienne Wooters will complete her 2-year commitment to serve as the interim Vice President of Academic Affairs on June 30th, 2021, requiring a search to find our next Chief Academic Officer. Additionally, Kurt Chalana will complete his expanded role filling the vacancy created when Larry Bean left his position as Vice President for Administration and Finance last spring. I anticipate having search committees comprised of students, faculty, and staff to help identify and recommend to me individuals who can best serve MCLA's needs. This work will begin in the next few weeks. In their June meeting, the Board of Trustees approved a budget based on 1,020 students, a significant reduction from the 1,275 last fall, which represents about a 20% reduction in enrollment. Although we had presented a budget with significant reductions in the expenses, it still was out of balance by $2.5 million. The board voted to provide up to $2.5 million in order to prevent furloughs and layoffs of full-time employees. I'm grateful to the board for making this commitment to us and have pledged to do what I can to fill the deficit wherever possible. Next year's budget will also be very difficult to balance, as we will not have as many budget tools that were available to us this year. And so I'm asking for your help. If there are expenses that you can eliminate from your budgets this year or postpone to a future date, I ask you to help reduce the budget wherever possible. Finally, I want to share with you some good news about the campus upgrades. Over the summer, DCAM provided state universities with additional funds to address deferred maintenance projects. As a result, MCLA will not bear the cost of re-roofing the Friel Library. That work, originally planned to be completed this summer, will occur this fall. DCAM funds have also allowed us to repair the Church Street Center mobility lift that had ceased to function properly. Also, DCAM funds will allow us to address some repairs and upgrades to the Venable Theater later this year. And lastly, the stone wall in the Berkshire Towers parking lot that had been repeatedly problematic will get repaired properly, allowing the use of parking spaces that had been roped off. Colleagues, I look forward to another year of our work with one another. Thank you all for your continued efforts to provide our students with a high-quality public liberal arts education. Thanks for joining, and have a wonderful day.